这个孩子照着他母亲的意思去做。
练武的目的在于健身自卫，不是为取胜。
要彻底取胜，必须再补一拳。
现在你犯了杀戒，从今天起你被赶出4门。
妙清师傅说，我的命中带有很重的杀气，问干娘就知道了。
我就是不想让你知道这些，所以才把你送到内关去。
我早就体会到，有仇恨的人活在我的心里，既然有20年之久。
应该是你娘在天之灵，在冥冥中指示你。
你的报酬增加我们的麻烦。真想找我麻烦，我就不客气了。
来吧！
他妈的！
我和你有什么仇怨？刘大兄根本就没有什么后代，你到底是什么人？
站在你眼前的，不就是了吗？
Hi there, it's Sid from Cool Moviegram, your source for everything about cool film. If you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button, check out my socials, check out my other videos and let me know your thoughts. And those of you who have already subscribed, welcome back to the channel. And today, yes, it's review day. It's of a movie which I was hoping that would get released sometime sooner or later for the last couple of years, I would say. I was hoping that this film would get like a physical media release in the UK, which is Broken Oath, which is directed by Jung Chang-hwa, 1977, a Hong Kong movie. Of course, this is the Eureka Entertainment limited edition slipcase version, and stars Angela Mao. A 1977 film, of course. Now, okay, without further ado, let's just get on with this. A woman whose husband, a high-ranking official in the Chinese government, is murdered by his former bodyguards, and his who ends up in prison. But then, after giving birth to her child, she passes away, and entrusts one of the inmates in the prison to take care of her child. Now, this prison is known as Lady Thousand Hands, who's a former kind of like pickpocket who's actually in prison, but decides to take the child and give it to a monastery for nuns and Shaolin nuns. And the thing is, she's known for having a murderous air about her, because the mother was saying that she wants her daughter to grow up and get revenge for her family and the misfortunes that she faced at the hands of her oppressors. So this child grows up, known as Pure Lotus, played by Angela Mao, who becomes proficient in martial arts, but she still has this kind of deep kind of anger inside her. She's kind of got this hatred in her that she shows no mercy, and she has this creative way of killing people, which is by throwing scorpions on them, as well as using her own martial arts. But then, as she's kicked out of the monastery, she decides to take revenge, and getting back at the culprits who have actually ruined her mother's life and made her an orphan. But there's also another plot that she kind of stumbles upon, which is the people who had actually killed her parents have also been trying to overthrow the Chinese government and take over the country by any means necessary. But then there's also people who are investigating this, and a melting pot of all these things kind of like comes together, and also blood, violence, and creative fights. Now, yeah, this film was the final film that Angela Mao had done for the Golden Harvest studio. where she was pretty much a mainstay. She was the female equivalent of Bruce Lee at that time. I mean, of course, she would also played Bruce Lee's sister in Enter the Dragon in a brief kind of like cameo of sorts. And yeah, this film, it kind of like it is a very loose adaptation of the Japanese classic Lady Snowblood, which had also come out in the early 70s. I mean, there are some the things that were kind of like taken from Lady Snowblood were that the fact that she was actually born in prison and her mother dies after childbirth, and the fact that this child has a murderous heir, because as in the original Lady Snowblood, she's been known as the child of the Netherworld. Yeah, she's out to kind of like, revenge is her only motive. That's more or less what Lady Snowblood was, which was at the same time was a very influential film. It inspired a lot of like female-led action movies, martial arts movies, including Tarantino's Kill Bill, especially the kills. And this one here, it was, this film had a really great kind of production value. And I mean, Angela Mao's screen presence is absolutely fantastic. She was actually really kind of like, she just had that kind of that presence about her. She had that charisma, having the looks and the, there's just the star presence. And also just her martial arts ability was really good too. And was really effective. She's really flexible, very kind of like good at handling fight choreography. I mean, you get to see a lot of, thing is, you have a lot of people involved in this that would go on to actually more or less be like big names in Hong Kong's action cinema and martial arts choreography. In particular, the martial arts choreography is by Yuen Wu Ping, and also you had people like Ko Yun Kwai, R.I.P. He was also one of the extras in this film. You had Suzia. If I'm pronouncing that right, he was one of the co-choreographers of this movie, as well as working on Drunken Master and a bunch of other older films along with Jackie Chan as well. And he was everywhere. He was in Secret Rivals too, and yeah, he was a pretty big kind of like presence. He was always there. And then you also have Sammo Hung in his very kind of like I would say kind of Uncle Phil meets Barry White kind of like hairdo. Like he's got this kind of hairpiece on, which is like kind of like a cul-de-sac, which is almost like the one that I've got on my head, and long hair and kind of like a Barry White beard. And he's kind of got these kind of weapons where like it looks like handles, where he's holding like, he's got these blades coming out, looking like a semicircles, like a sunrise, and he's kind of got them on chains and he's fighting them. And you've also got Han Ching Ye, who is a veteran choreographer who had actually done the choreography on Bruce Lee's The Big Boss. Notably, he also played the bad guy in that, and he played the housekeeper Fung in Fist of Fury. He was also one of the bad guy's henchmen in this, and it was done pretty well. And you have Bruce Leung or Leung Siu Leung. A lot more Western audiences would know him from Kung Fu Hustle, who played like the main antagonist, who Stephen Chow fights at the end. And he was actually a really big star. I mean, some people class him as like a kind of a Bruce Exploitation star, but then he was also a really big TV star back in the 70s and 80s. So he had actually done quite a few stories, and he's a really good like martial artist, and he kind of has his kicking ability on display in this movie. And the bad guys, they have like really interesting weapons that have kind of like that they have on that they use in the fight sequences and such as well. And like this whole film, I mean, the plot, it starts off like a revenge movie, but then it kind of goes into the whole kind of political intrigue. But then it's just more or less, she's just going around taking names, kicking ass, and getting vengeance, whether it's by her fists or whether it's by weapons or even her scorpions, which was quite kind of like quite unique. I've never seen that in a movie before. And even the bad guys are actually pretty good as well. We have people like Michael Chan Wyman, who's a veteran of like Shaw Brothers movies, and he's appeared in probably in the 90s. He's appeared in nearly every other Triad movie. He had like a links to the 14K triads, and he's actually quite a kind of influential figure in that whole kind of like that circle of things. But then he was actually a pretty good martial artist. But then you kind of get to see him play a different type of like a bad guy who's kind of orchestrating this plot, along with like the like a corrupt prince who's trying to take over the country. And I mean, this does have some kind of like throwbacks to Lady Snowblood as well, because they've kind of, I mean, what I liked about the fact is that like instead of kind of aping the whole story, kind of just imitating it page for page or scene for scene, they'd actually taken some elements of that movie and they kind of like weave their own style around it, turning it into like a much more broader, kind of straightforward martial arts movie. And it's the kind of a vehicle that kind of serves Angela Mao pretty well. I did really enjoy this film. I would say this movie is probably alongside, I would say, one of my favorite like Angela Mao movies. I mean, others being films like Hapkido, Lady Whirlwind, and The Tournament, which I hope does get a release soon. And this is actually up there with alongside them. And I would say, yeah, this movie is definitely, I would say a 4 out of 5. Looking at the Blu-ray now, of course, you get this really cool. You got this kind of like slipcase. Then you open it, and then you've got this here, which is the original poster artwork on the inside, which I really enjoy. And it does, of course, come with a booklet with some interesting essays, and you have people, for example, talking. It comes with talking about like more or less the comparisons to Lady Snowblood, and also, for example, like Angela Mao herself. I mean, it's a really, really interesting booklet. And on the inside of the slip of the actual DVD cover case, you have like this little kind of wide shot from the movie, which is more or less near the start when she's actually in the monastery for nuns. The picture quality, again, it's really, really good. I mean, really good picture quality. I really enjoyed the restoration of this film, and the fact that you got 2 cuts of the film. One cut is the theatrical version of the Hong Kong one, and the other is the extended cut, which kind of alters the plot in certain ways. Which of course it changes how, like, for example, in the original Lady Snowblood, I mean, the child who's born Angela Mao as well. Sorry, the Lady Snowblood, as in the child of the prisoner's husband. She's actually, she was fathered by someone in one of the prison guards, and then that's what more or less the extended cut kind of had. Whereas in the Hong Kong version, that whole plot was removed, where that those scenes were kind of cut out. But I mean, they're also kind of like the fact that these 2K restoration for these movies look really good. You have the limited edition O card, of course, which is artwork by Gregory Sacre. Gokaiju, that's his name, the name that he goes by. It's a 1080p HD presentation of the Blu-ray of both the original theatrical version and the extended international version from brand new 2K restorations. Mandarin audio, original manual presentation, optional English dubbed audio, which is on the theatrical version only. You have the city with subtitles newly translated for this release. You have an audio commentary on the theatrical version by Asian film expert Frank Zheng, and of course another one by a new audio commentary on the extended version, which is by Mike Leader and Arnie Venema, which again was a great watch. Broken Oath, an appreciation by Andrew Heskins, a great kind of video essay on the movie, and Angela Mao herself, Female Revenge, Scorpion versus Katana, which is Patrick Macias, talks Broken Oath and Lady Snowblood. So it kind of talks about the comparisons between the two films. and the similarities and the differences. You got the trailer and of course the booklets, which is new writing by East Asian cinema expert Gina Marchetti and Kung Fu Cult Masters author Leon Hunt. And yeah, the fact that we get like two good cuts of the movie, so you kind of see it in a different light, and it's a great presentation, and bonus features are really interesting as well. I mean, I really enjoyed the one talking about Patrick's talk about like the similarities and differences between Broken Oath and Lady Snowblood, and even the Andrew Heskin's talk about the film was actually pretty good too. That I thought that about Angela Mao, that was really interesting. And overall, yeah, I would say this is, again, Eureka knocked it out of the park. Everyone involved. The fact that they've given this film a really kind of like stellar release. I would definitely say that the Blu-ray, again, these boutique companies are just doing an absolutely amazing job on these films, and I would definitely say this is another 5 out of 5. A must-have, especially if you love your martial arts films or female-led action movies. These are like the precursors. These are the predecessors to like pretty much any female action movies that you saw like in the 90s or 80s, or let me know in the comments. What would you say are your favorite female-led action movies, female-led martial arts movies? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, I'll definitely see you on the next one. Take care.